It often happens in a normal setting: a classroom, a workplace, a courtroom, on a screen, a comment section. Someone breaks a rule, someone crosses a line, and then something happens to them. You are not the one in trouble, you are watching. At first, it feels ordinary. This is how things go. Someone did something wrong, now there is a response. You don't lean forward yet, you don't react much, but you stay, you keep watching, you listen closely. You wait for the outcome. There is a pull there, even if you don't name it. When the punishment comes, something settles. It might be a fine, a public scolding, a loss, a removal, a sentence. Whatever form it takes, the moment feels complete, and inside, something feels right. Not loud, not exciting, just firm. Like a knot being tied, like a mess being cleaned up. The air feels clearer. You might feel calmer. The tension drops. Things are back in order. Someone paid the price, and now the moment can end. You don't feel cruel. You don't feel angry. You might even feel neutral. But you don't feel bad either. There is comfort in seeing a line drawn. Comfort in knowing that rules still matter. Comfort in watching someone else carry the weight. You might tell yourself this is about fairness, about keeping things balanced, about consequences. And maybe it is. But there is also a feeling in the body, a small sense of relief, a quiet satisfaction. Something that says, this is how it should be. You might notice that you don't rush to imagine yourself in their place. You don't sit with their fear or shame for long. You stay where you are, on the safe side of the line. If others react strongly, you might stay silent. You don't cheer, you don't argue, you just watch and let the moment land. This can happen with strangers. It can happen with people you know. It can happen with people you dislike. It can even happen with people you once supported. The feeling doesn't ask who they are. It shows up anyway. Most of the time, the moment passes quickly. Another story replaces it. Another rule is broken somewhere else. Another punishment appears. But if you slow down, you can feel it. That steady, grounded feeling when punishment arrives and the world feels more solid again. It's not something people like to talk about, but it's something many people recognize. Carl Jung paid close attention to feelings people don't like to admit, especially the ones that don't match how they want to see themselves. He noticed that punishment is one of those places. When you feel that quiet comfort while watching someone get punished, Jung would say the mind moves fast. Too fast to stay with the feeling. It doesn't want to look at it closely. Most people don't stop and say, I like this. They don't even say, I feel something. The moment passes and the feeling slips into the background. Jung believed this wasn't because people are dishonest. It's because some feelings don't fit the image we carry of ourselves. We like to think we are kind, reasonable, fair. Enjoying punishment doesn't sit well with that picture, so the mind steps away. Jung talked often about parts of ourselves we keep out of sight, not hidden in a dramatic way, just not invited into the room. These parts don't get much attention, they don't get named, they are pushed aside gently. The feeling that comes with punishment often ends up there. It's easier to focus on the rule that was broken than on the reaction inside. Easier to think about what someone did wrong than about why watching it feels steady or calming. Jung saw this as a habit, a quiet one. The mind learns which feelings make life smoother and which ones cause trouble inside. The ones that cause trouble get less space, so the feeling gets covered, not buried deep, just brushed past. You move on. You don't think about it later. You don't bring it up in conversation. It becomes one of those moments that disappear as soon as they end. But Jung noticed something else. When a feeling is avoided like this, it doesn't go away. It waits. The next time someone is punished, the same feeling shows up again, just as quickly, just as quietly. And once again, the mind looks away. Jung understood that this turning away keeps things calm on the surface. It helps people get through the day without friction, without questions that feel heavy. Nothing breaks, nothing feels wrong. but the feeling stays part of the person, unseen, unmaimed, ready for the next familiar moment. Jung didn't see this as a problem to fix. He saw it as a pattern to notice, a reminder that the mind chooses comfort over honesty more often than we think. And punishment is one of the places where that choice shows itself clearly. Friedrich Nietzsche paid close attention to the stories people tell themselves, not the ones they speak out loud, but the ones they live inside. He noticed that when a feeling feels uncomfortable, the mind doesn't leave it alone for long. When punishment feels good, Nietzsche would say the mind quickly gives that feeling a reason. It turns the moment into something that makes sense, something that feels right. The feeling alone is too raw, too close, so it gets wrapped in meaning. Nietzsche saw that people don't like feeling things without a reason. A feeling without a reason feels dangerous. It can raise questions. It can make people uneasy. So the mind steps in and cleans it up. Punishment starts to feel necessary. It feels earned. It feels like balance is returned. The story settles the body. The tension drops. Nietzsche wasn't interested in whether this story was true or false. He cared about what it does. And what it does is calm people down. Once the moment feels justified, there's nothing left to examine. The feeling no longer feels personal. It feels proper. Nietzsche noticed how quickly this happens. One moment, there is a reaction in the body. The next moment, there is a reason standing over it, making it feel acceptable. This is comforting. It allows people to feel steady without looking too closely at themselves. It allows them to move on without carrying discomfort. Over time, this becomes familiar. Punishment doesn't just happen. It makes sense. It feels clean. It feels settled. Nietzsche saw that people often trust whatever brings calm. If something lowers tension, it feels right enough. The relief becomes the proof. This is how the story protects the person. It keeps their self-image intact. It keeps the feeling from looking like something they wouldn't want to admit. Nothing dramatic is required. No decision is made. The mind simply slides from feeling into meaning. Nietzsche didn't judge this move. He recognized it. He saw it as part of how people survive social life without constant inner conflict. But he also noticed the cost. Once the story is in place, the feeling is no longer questioned. It becomes invisible. It hides behind the meaning that was built around it. People don't return to the feeling. They don't ask why punishment felt good in the first place. The explanation has already done its job. Nietzsche understood that this is how values stay strong. They don't just guide action. They protect people from looking at reactions they would rather not see. And when the story feels right, the feeling no longer feels like a problem. Niccolò Machiavelli paid attention to what punishment actually does. Not what it is supposed to mean, not what people say it stands for. He watched what happens after it appears. From his view, punishment is not just a response, it is a signal. When someone is punished and others are watching, something becomes clear without words. Lines are drawn, positions are set. One person is exposed, others are not. This has an effect. People don't only understand the rule, they feel where they stand. They feel safer knowing it wasn't them. They feel steadier seeing that the system still works. And very often, they feel something else too. There is satisfaction in seeing order return. Satisfaction in watching someone else carry the cost. Satisfaction in knowing that the pressure landed somewhere else. Machiavelli would not be surprised by this. He knew that systems last when they give people something in return. Punishment gives clarity, it gives safety, and it gives a quiet reward to those who are not chosen. Enjoyment does not have to be loud to be real. It can sit quietly in the body. It can feel like relief, like balance, like things being put back in place. People don't need to cheer. They don't need to agree openly. Staying and watching is enough. Over time, this feeling keeps punishment useful. It keeps people paying attention. It keeps the pattern alive without force. Those who watch learn quickly. They learn where not to step. They learn how to stay safe. They learn what happens to those who cross the line. Fear plays a role, but pleasure does too. Feeling safe while someone else is punished creates a strong pull. It keeps people on the right side of the line without anyone having to push them. Machiavelli understood that this is how control stays quiet, not through anger, not through chaos, through repetition, through familiarity, through reactions that work. Punishment becomes expected, normal, even comforting. It stops feeling shocking. It starts feeling necessary. And because it feels necessary, it keeps happening. No one has to defend it. No one has to explain it. Something that gives people safety and satisfaction doesn't need protection. It protects itself. When no one names what they feel while watching, nothing interrupts the pattern. And when nothing interrupts it, the pattern keeps shaping how people behave, what they accept, and what they silently support. Most of the time, we already know this. We just don't like hearing it said.